So you want to be a Doom Slayer slaying demons from hell, huh? Well, I got the chance to play some Doom The Dark Ages, so that way I can show you what it's like and what to expect from the game when it releases on the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC on May 15th. And a huge shout out to Bethesda for sending me an early copy, so that way I can show you guys what you'll be experiencing when you get to play the game. And don't worry, I'm not going to spoil any of the story elements of the game. I'm going to show you some of the weapons that I got to experience, some of the enemies I got to face off against, and then show you the difference between Doom The Dark Ages and the previous games, Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. Now, while they're alike, with the fast-paced gameplay and all of that, there's some major differences to the core gameplay, and I am absolutely loving this game so far, and I cannot wait to show you all of the different weapons, all the different combos you can pull off against the enemies, and how your shield works and interacts with your weapons and the enemies as well. So there's a lot to dive into here, so get some popcorn and let's dive into Doom The Dark Ages. Okay, so first of all, what is Doom The Dark Ages? So it is officially a prequel to Doom Eternal and Doom 2016, and it's basically a game that takes place during a medieval war. So it's a totally different take on Doom, and even the gameplay has so many unique new elements to it that I was surprised by compared to the previous Doom games. Now, if you like fast-paced action and you like the fast movement of the previous Doom games, no worries, that is still intact here. I was a little bit worried about that, but I am relieved to tell you all that this game is just as fast and frantic as the previous Doom games. Now, in terms of jumping around compared to Doom Eternal, I will say this, there's not as much jumping around. This is going to be more grounded and where you're more of a tank-like hero, wielding a shield with your primary weapon and your gauntlet, which is your melee fist type weapon. Now, what are the exact gameplay differences compared to the previous Doom games, you ask? Well, first of all, it's the way you actually achieve your combo. So for instance, you can take your primary weapon, target an enemy with a shield, shoot their shield until it glows red, and then once it's red, you can then throw your own shield at the enemy shield, and their shield will shatter and cause tons of splash damage. You can also use your energy type of weapon to take down energy shields, and that will also cause some major splash damage as well. And that's just one example of some of the combos you can do in this game. You can also use your shield to parry incoming green attacks, which will send that attack flying back to the enemy, and then you can also use your shield charge to really close in the distance between you and the enemy, get up close, and then use your gauntlet to take them out. So there's a lot of different ways you can combine the different forms of attacks in this game, and I think that really adds a lot of variety to the gameplay, and it's just so much fun, especially when you have a huge group of enemies and you're chaining all of these combos together. It is so rewarding, and when you use that gauntlet, by the way, it does have a certain amount of charges, if you will, so you do have to pick up gauntlet charges around the map. You have to pick up ammo, you have to pick up health and armor, just like previous Doom games. I love the fact that they kept this classic pickup system intact from previous Doom games. And the weapons I got to use were the shotgun, the shredder, rail spike gun, the skull crusher, plasma rifle, and of course the gauntlet melee weapon and the shield. And let me tell you, these weapons do not disappoint, and my favorite one would probably have to be the shredder weapon, because this thing, it does so much damage, it's full auto, and if you throw your shield at the enemy and embed that shield into the enemy, you can use the ricochet effect to really do maximum damage to all of the other enemies surrounding the area. Now, the Skull Crusher just looks freaking cool. This thing is definitely one of my favorite weapons as well. It's basically crushing a skull and then sending bone projectiles towards your enemies. How cool is this? This thing is freaking awesome. And you'll notice as you play with these different weapons, you'll have to switch over to the plasma rifle when you come across enemies that are wielding plasma shields. Now, you don't have to do this, but it's always wise to immediately switch over to that plasma rifle when you come across these energy shields, because you can dish out some major splash damage when you use that plasma rifle against these energy shields, and it's worth switching over in this case. And I also utilize my trusty shotgun as well. I didn't get to upgrade it all the way, so there's plenty of upgrading to be had. But the shotgun is just your basic shotgun, at least in the beginning, and packs that punch that you love from a shotgun, of course. And there's a lot more weapons to experience in this game. I have not unlocked all of the weapons just yet, but from the weapons I've experienced so far, consider me impressed. And while we're on the topic of weapons, there's actually a massive mech that I was able to get into and then face off against massive demons as well. And the coolest part about this was just the sheer scale and size of these battles. It felt freaking epic. And there's even destruction around the environment, so you can walk through bridges, walk through structures, and those structures will be completely destroyed by your mech walking through them. So there's a lot of immersion in this gameplay. It's not just for show. And yes, you can even still pull off some cool executions as well. So this part of the game, definitely a massive surprise. I absolutely loved it. And certain sections of the game will allow you to utilize, get this, a dragon mount that you can fly on and then face off against massive demons as well. So they've really stepped up the sheer size and scale of this Doom game. And that whole medieval environment and medieval atmosphere really lends itself to this epic scale. And it all comes together for some really cool battles and some epic moments. And I think if you're a Doom fan, you will love this game and you will appreciate the difference between Doom Eternal and the previous Doom games, because I was a little bit worried it'd feel too similar. And then on the other hand, I was worried it wouldn't be similar enough. And they struck a nice balance between the two. They made sure it still feels like a Doom game, but new enough that you'd appreciate that new stuff, but with that old classic feel. And I think a part of that old classic feel is also with how you dodge the incoming projectiles. So there's a lot more dodging of those incoming projectiles, and you really got to focus on the green projectiles and then parry those projectiles with your shield to send them back flying towards the enemy. And I'm sure as you've watched the gameplay, you've noticed just how good this game looks. I'm playing it on the PlayStation 5 Pro, but regardless of the console you're on, I'm positive this game is going to be optimized across the board, whether it be PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox Series X or S, or PC, because Doom, it's always been known to look really good regardless of the console you play on. And I was really impressed with the map designs, with the weather effects. The rain effects are absolutely stunning in this game with the lightning going on in the background. It's just awesome to see. So sound off in the comments, fellow Doomslayers. Will you be getting Doom The Dark Ages on May 15th for the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, Xbox Series X or S, or PC? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know what was your favorite part of the gameplay and what is your favorite weapon that you've seen so far. And I will see you later, Doomslayers. Have fun slaying some demons of hell.